Welcome back to Shanghai with the sun setting, the floodlights taking over. I'm Rupert Bell as we get ready for round two of stage 3 of the Global Champions Tour here in Shanghai. A fascinating first round with many a twist and turns. It was not an easy course, but 3 teams managed to come with a double clear, and that's why they are top of the pack. And there are a lot of other teams. There are 12 other teams hoping to close them down, because the first 3 teams were magnificent on Peter Grant's course and they were trouble free. So it is Madrid in Motion though who are going to be the last team to go after their fabulous performance earlier today. Alongside me, Dan Strange. It was a fascinating first round. Now you know all the changes. Just give us, for people who just joined us, a couple of takeaways from the first session, which we did think was going to cause problems, and it did.
It did. It ran to what was predicted by Scott Brash, that there would be faults all over, but they were smattered across the rounds. What was it, 10 with 4 faults, 3 double clear. And of course we lost at the halfway stage. Paris Panthers, Guido Grimaldi coming off unfortunately, but both horse and rider okay. Stockholm Hearts with Chin Yu Peng missing out, and that's disappointing for them because it's been a tough season, tough start to the season for them.
But overall then, obviously you looked at the ladies from Cannes were once again on fire, and showing that they are a force to be reckoned with. And we look at the changes now, and for the start list for round 2, let's take a look at the start list and the way it's sort of panning out. We're looking at the changes that have been made. We've got a much bigger course, a much more demanding course, so teams have made changes. As we look at that list, what do you think are the main takeaways from the changes the teams have made, and sort of any standout moments?
Well, you've got 2 teams that haven't made any changes to horse or rider. So Riesenbeck International, Rome Gladiators, both same riders and horses there as well. 6 teams across the group today in the second round have 1 change. And the interesting one, in the last 6 to come, only Shanghai Swans, who you spoke to earlier at length, are the only team to make multiple changes. Now, will the fresh horse legs there help them in that top 6? It's so tight. Could that be crucial? Yeah,
and that of course is the team that features Ben Mayer, Daniel Deusser and Max Kuhne. You know that they have made those changes. They were, unlucky, and one of those gaggle of teams who just picked up 4 faults. Yeah, and it's Ben Mayer changing to Dallas Vegas Bati, and Max Kuhne rides Jacko Blue. So 2 quality horses coming in. Daniel Deusser will ride in the individual qualification for the LGCT, but he won't be involved in the team competition today. The strength in depth they've got, not just in the horses that we've mentioned, but in the riders as well, is unbelievable. Looking at the team's double clear, yep. Obviously Victor Bettendorf, I know he's now job done, yep. Put my feet up, I went clear, an impressively quick time too, yep. Which is has meant that they're leading going into this, will be the last team. What do you make of the changes that the Cannes Stars, Prague Lions and Madrid in Motion have made here?
For Cannes Stars, well, the pressure for me, although she's riding brilliantly and she's a real rising star, is on Natalie Dean, because we know what Jana can do and how quality she is. Natalie does change. She rides a Kota. Now, a Kota has gone clear twice in 13 rounds, so obviously the stats are slightly against her. We don't want to go into a massive statistical dive here, but they are slightly against her, so pressure on her.
Jumping at 160. That's
jumping at 160. Yeah, at 155 she's 100% clear in Global Champion, so a very, very good horse, a Kota coming in. For Madrid in Motion, Manuel Sarro went clear in the first round. He rides Dreamland in the second, and Edu Asnar comes in. Now, Edu's not on Rockefeller this week, he's on Legend. He's a very, very good rider and a very, very good horse. I think Legend's 1 from 3 at this height, clear. So they've got a good chance. And Prague Lions, Niels Brunsil, always high quality. And Impress K continues in the second round. That's the 1 horse change that hasn't happened for Prague Lions with Thibaut Spitz.
Okay, those 3 streams are double clear. Any ones of the 4 faults? Who do you think is going to maybe challenging of the ones on 4?
There's a lot of teams in and around there. Istanbul Warriors, for me, with Henrik von Eckermann and Simon Delestre, they've made 1 horse change, I believe. You can't look past them. Basel Cosmopolitans, they bring in Andreas Skau, their manager. He rides Napoli. but Napoli's only gone clear once in 14 at this height. So that worries me slightly.
What we're saying is it's all to play for. Now, if we didn't have round two, thank you, Dan, for the time being. We'll be sending you out to go and do your thing. Let's take a look at what the virtual ranking would be if we ended today and who would be out on top. Now, of course, we know Cannes Stars were leading at the start of the day. And are they still? Well, they still would be leading today. Prague Lions, Madrid in Motion, Shanghai Swans. That's the way it would look after today's, after the first round. So still all to play for. But the Cannes Stars, if they can continue this kind of form, will be leading after round three if they're in where they are now. But if they obviously be looking to go up the leaderboard. So plenty at stake here. Can be lots of movement. But right now, Cannes Stars enjoying themselves. Prague Lions and Madrid in Motion. A good day for them so far. Well, I'm delighted to say, joining me now, he didn't realise he was sitting next to me at breakfast, but he was, because he'd just flown in, and all I heard, like probably so many people here, oh, I don't know how much sleep I've had, I don't know what time of day it is. Peter Grant, the course designer, you came in yesterday, but all your work was done before in terms of designing the course. How are you now, late on an afternoon here in Shanghai, after presumably about 2 hours kip?
Yeah, no, for everything's good. So I'm being helped out by the adrenaline at the moment. So it's getting me through the day. But setting for this group and this level of riders is always exciting. So it's given me the pickup I needed to get through the day.
How satisfied were you with the way the first round panned out? Because we'd heard from one or two riders say, "Oh, this there's not much let up," and then the double that was just behind us here at 9 seemed to catch out a lot. Were you surprised by anything, or did it sort of ride as you felt it would?
I thought it was a pretty good competition. I would say the one thing I was surprised that 11A came down a little bit more than I was expecting, and various factors, I suppose. But all in all, I thought it was an appropriate test, and we had lots of sympathetic faults and nobody with big scores. So I thought it was an interesting and lent well to the team competition coming into round two.
And when you look at this arena, well, I'm standing here, it looks big. So is that an easy thing to design for, or would you rather because you've got a sort of vast template to play with?
No, for me, I prefer the space for sure. Grew up in the big grass fields in Western Canada, so plenty comfortable with the space. I think it's a beautiful venue. Everything about it is first class, so it's really an honor and a pleasure to build.
And so what can they expect here in this one?
I think it's the qualifier for the Grand Prix. It's good prize money, but there's still for me, the primary function is the team competition. So it's a little bit of a mix. It's maybe a step up technicality from the first round, but still, I think the emphasis is on a little bit of handiness, and there'll be, I hope, if I did my job well, there's plenty of opportunities to jump clean and hopefully do it fast.
Peter, thank you so much. You and I will probably sleep well tonight because we're still on, I know what time zone we're on, but I tell you what, so far so good from your perspective, and I hope we get just as much drama as we had in the first round. Peter, very nice to see you.
Thank you.
Now, that's Peter Grant, who's the course designer. Our commentator is Ed Holloway, so let's go and join Ed, who is out and about taking a look at the course that Peter has designed. So, Ed, what do you make of, we've just been hearing from Peter, is it going to be a fair test? And he's also got Natalie Dean with him as well. Well, what do you think of it so far?
GCL round 2, and I'm delighted to join the Cannes Stars. We're just ahead of GCL round 2, and I'm delighted to join Cannes Stars' Natalie Dean after a brilliant first round with Con Calma. Natalie jumps a devastating clear round in Mexico City with a Cota M en route to second place. Natalie, you weren't in Doha for your win. Tell us please about Con Calma's round and your impression of the first round test of Peter Gray, Natalie.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my horse Connor, Con Calma as we call him. I think he jumped a super round. He's gotten more and more consistent this winter, and I think the best is still to come for that horse.
It looked like a big course but straightforward, but it caused a lot of problems from some of the best in the business. What was your overall feeling about what Peter said?
I think it was a nice course. I think that there were little faults here and there, and I think that there's still a big round to jump in round 2, and I think we have to keep our focus for round 2 and hope we can pull it off.
You've got a Kota M coming, Annie. She was brilliant in Mexico. What's your impression of this course now?
Yeah, for sure this round is bigger than the last round. I think that it'll be hard enough to jump, but I know Annie very well, and she's quite quick against the clock, so I don't really have to focus on the time with her.
Can Stars, you were part of the team last year, the champions. This year, a win and second. Only 3 teams now with a 0 score. You're one of them. What's the magic, Natalie?
I think that the magic for our team is the Iron Dames and really the support from Deborah. You really feel the whole team behind us, and we really aim for these events, and we try to make the best plan with the riders that we have at each show, and I think that you can really see that in our results so far.
Good luck and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that is Ed talking to Natalie Dean. She's been one of the stars of the Global Champions Tour so far this year, and certainly this afternoon she's brightened up proceedings here in Shanghai. The sun has now started to go behind the grandstand. The floodlights taking effect. Riders getting their last-minute peep at Peter Grant's course for this round 2. And amongst those riders, the husband and wife combination of Angelica Zanatelli and Marlon Zanatelli. They will be out first up. Actually, we'll see Angelica in the first team out, Monica Comets, and then riding for Basel Cosmopolitans, Marlon Zanatelli. Well, he will be hoping for a good run. They've got obviously, and certainly both of them will be hoping to move their team up the leaderboards. But it's fascinating to see them here. And before the competition got underway today, Dan Strange caught up with the powerful show jumping couple.
Marlon and Angelica, described as a true power couple of the GCL. Welcome back to the tour. Angelica, how does it feel to be back in the GCL?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it feels really well, really good. It's my first competition this year in the GCL, so I'm very excited.
Marlon, you've been here a couple of days in Shanghai. How are you finding the venue? How are you finding the city?
The venue is amazing. Just everything for the horses has perfect facilities. We have the stables are amazing. The horses are very well here. So for us, it's the most important thing. The city we haven't seen much. I'm terrible with that, but it's amazing. Big cities. It feels a bit like in the big cities in Brazil as well, with the traffic and all that. So different thing to see us coming from the farmlands of Belgium.
Obviously, as you say, not getting to see much of the city, but at least you get to enjoy the show together. Show jumping is an unusual sport in that riders do actually share information between each other often. How, as a couple, do you share information when you're riding at shows like this?
Yeah, we do everything together. I think that's amazing opportunity we have here. 2 5-star top riders with the chance to share things together, and not only that, but the unique thing of being able to have a family and do the business together. I think that's really special.
You've got a family, 3 children. You are a couple, but obviously 2 very different personalities as well. Just talk me through, Angelica, how those personalities are within a show like this. Do you like feedback from Marlon through the competition?
Yeah, I do a lot actually. I even like him, if he has time to be there, help me in the warm-up. We always talk when we walk the course, so I like to do as much as possible together, and I look up to him very much as a rider. So he's my husband, but still when we are on the show I also see him as a like almost like a trainer, a partner, and it's really nice.
How does that play out within, obviously you're both on new teams this year, you with the Monaco Comets powered by Iron Dames and Basel Cosmopolitans. How does that feedback sharing differ if you're on different teams?
I think we always help each other. Of course, when we are in the ring, we are competing against each other, but everything we do outside, we help. We are sportsmen, and I think all of the riders, more or less, would give a hand to someone if they need. But in the arena, of course, we like to beat each other, but outside we try to help as much as possible.
Marlon, last year here, Angelica had a massive show here in Shanghai. You've obviously achieved so much as well around global champions. Who's more competitive?
I think she'll agree with me that I'm probably the most competitive one. But I think we're both very competitive riders, otherwise we didn't achieve what we achieved. So,
with Monaco Comets, what does Angelica bring to this team? They've got a huge opportunity, the Monaco Comets, to do a massive do massive things this season. But what does Angelica bring to the roster?
I think, like we said before, she's a super competitive rider. She has good horses to ride. Very experienced rider, has been on podium many times with the league. So I think she can bring all that into the plate.
Obviously, Monaco Comets come from the Iron Dames stable, so we've seen a bit of, what goes with the Cannes Stars there and their success. Angelica, for Marlon and the Basel Cosmopolitans, what qualities does he bring into that unit to help them look for success?
I think everybody wants to have Marlon in their team. It's a huge benefit. He's in the ring. He's delivering also mostly clear rounds. He's fast, but I think also outside of the ring, he's really good to have in the warm-up. He's a real team player, yeah. I was going to say, unfortunately, he's not a woman, but I don't think I should say that. Then things would look different. But he's really one that they are lucky to have in the team, I would say. Yeah.
And it's going to be a huge weekend for both of you. If it's going down to maybe Angelica going into the arena she's got to go clear to beat Basel Cosmopolitans, how conflicted will you feel at that point?
I don't think I'll be conflicted, but I think I'll be happy either way. I mean, if she goes clear and wins it, many times if I'm in the class, she can say herself, I would go in the warm-up and tell her, you got to do this and this to try to beat me. I mean, try to help her. I would be happy. We know how hard it is to win a class in our sport, and I think every rider feels a bit the same. If you do it good to win a class, is because you're beating your own challenge and your own challenge with your horse.
To you both, great to have you back on tour, and best of luck for this weekend in Shanghai.
Well, wish them luck in this second round, and Angelica will be in the first team that will be coming out very shortly to begin this second round here of stage 3 of the Global Champions Tour. Really looking forward to seeing how it goes on. Now, this course, we've heard from Peter Grant, heard from Ed talking to Natalie Dean. Well, now, let's get our commentator's view of the course. Let's go and join him out there and find out what he thinks that Peter Grant has provided as a challenge this afternoon for the teams, the 15 teams that will be coming forward for round 2. Ed, what do you make of it?
Rupert, thank you. Yes, it's a fascinating course that I think has been said again by Peter Grant. His first round test was already demanding. It wore fair if big, and it caused havoc for the best in the world. The first fence now is out the back. It is the GC triple bar. It's 180 in width. They then run left-handed down to the beautiful Castle Garden vertical, 155 tall. Then it's a handbrake turn back to another very big vertical, 157 tall, the Prague Playoffs vertical. That will then lead them down to this huge oxer, fence 4, the Shanghai oxer, 150 by 160. They then spin back the top end of this just International Equestrian Centre. The Red Liverpool 160 tall is fence 5. Then the Just Sports Oxer, 160 wide, that is on the far side. Will lead them down to the double combination, 7A and B, 150, 160 in, one stride through 7B, which is 158 leaving. Left-handed then back to this fence just ahead of us, the Longines Oxer. That is massive. Fence number 8, 160 wide, 153. And then they're going to go back up to fence number 9, the Laofen Jiang Plank, 160 tall. It's delicate, not far from the in gate either. But then comes the treble combination, 10A, B and C just behind us. 156 is the in part, one stride to B. That is very wide, and then 2 strides to 10C, 158 tall. They then spin left-handed back to another massive vertical. That is 11, the Bao Jun vertical. Down then to the Snake Liverpool on the far side here. This is now the home line. And finally, the final fence is 13. I'm going to have a quick word to Zoe Conter about the course. Zoe's in great form. Zoe, a snap reaction, please, about Peter Grant's second round course.
Well, it's a really good course. I mean, the second round is always much bigger than the first. I think we can all agree. He builds pretty delicate. So I think you want to ride this course with a lot of poise and just take it fence by fence, because obviously you want to be competitive competitive, but there's big jumps to jump, so you really need to take your time.
Zoe, you're in great form in Mexico City. You must come with real confidence into Shanghai.
Yes, well, actually, I'm in really good form. Thank you very much. My horses have been feeling great. I have a really great squad of good horses, feisty mares, which I love. They fight for me in the ring. And I mean, it's my first time in Shanghai. It's an amazing venue. The accommodation is incredible, and I'm super excited to get the show started here.
Good luck, Zoe. We're buoying the Mexico Amigos onto another great finish here.
Yes, hopefully we can have a podium finish.
Thank you. And yeah, back to you, Rupert. Fascinating course we have on our hands.
Thank you, Ed. Yes, fascinating. Good little insight there from Zoe Conte. She's excited. She's obviously riding for Mexico Amigos, who will be starting in the second round of the second half of our second round, if you see what I mean. So you'll be seeing her later on. But there are a whole number of teams that, after the round one here, ended up with 4 faults. And one of those, not only Mexico Amigos, was Saint-Tropez Pirates. And they will be the first of the 4 fault teams to come in, 4th to go in this second session. And let's now hear from one of their riders. He didn't compete in the first round, but he is in action later on, well, in about 20 minutes time, I would imagine, or a bit later than that. Delighted to say that joining Dan out is Duarte Seabra.
Thanks, Rupert. Yeah, we're here in the arena with Duarte Seabra of the Saint-Tropez Pirates. Duarte, you've had a look at the course. We're by 12 to 13, which is coming towards the end of the course. What is your thoughts on what Peter Grant's put together here?
It's a big course, and it's always it's a first day. So normally a course like this with these dimensions, we jump second or third day in normal shows. Here, having a course like this on the first day is always tough. But I think it's a fair course, but it's long and big. So, and hopefully we can manage to jump a clear round.
How does it suit Dorados? How do courses like this, sort of bigger arenas like this, suit your horse?
Yeah, for sure, he's a horse with a big stride. This is a big arena. He's a scopy horse, so for sure this kind of tracks will suit him. And I hope I'm correct today, and I can prove that at the end.
Does it add any nerves to the team? Obviously, one of this plethora of teams on 4 faults. Does that add anything for the team going in?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it changes a lot for the second round. But obviously, if we come with a clear round with 0 penalties from the first round, is always nicer. But now we feel the pressure to jump clear rounds now.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck to you in the Saint-Tropez Pirates. Thanks to Art and Rupert. Back to you in the studio.
Well, Duarte Seabra there talking to Dan. Obviously, it'd be fascinating to see how he gets on, of course, in the Saint-Tropez Pirates team that will be going forth up. Let's just look at the start list and how it shaped up after round one. Of course, we go in reverse order. The top team, Madrid in Motion, will be going last of the 15 teams that go forward after 2 were eliminated earlier on. So here is the way it starts for round 2, beginning with the Monaco Comets. They start up the first of the 15 teams, and then, as I say, from 4th onwards until number 12, all those teams had 4 faults in the mornings in the first round here. So that shows how close it is now, with just 3 teams going forward with double clears. That's Cannes Stars, obviously being the star sensation so far in the first 2 stages of the Global Champions Tour, Prague Lions, and then Madrid in Motion, with Victor Bettendorf the star, but he has standing down. So that's how it's going to shape up. The music's cranking up behind us as the crowd here get ready to enjoy what should be a fascinating session here. And will it still see, and I think this is going to be the interesting dynamic, after such a good, strong start, will the Cannes Stars still be top of the pops at the end of this stage? Because they seem to have just had a sort of serenity and a calmness about them. But I do feel that this is such a high-quality group of riders they've assembled here for this stage of the Longines Global Champions Tour that anything is possible. It's a tough track. It will require precision jumping. There will be no room for error. That's going to be the fascinating dynamic here this afternoon. What we've got a sense from not only the course designer, but the riders that we've spoken to, they know they will have to be on their mettle, because many teams, after perhaps disappointing starts to their campaign, main, will be looking for a strong finish here this evening, because maybe one or two haven't gone well. But I have to say, I can't wait to see what happens here over the next couple of hours. Who is going to come away with the #1 spot here in Shanghai as we come to the conclusion of round 3 of the Global Champions Tour.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful skyline tonight of Shanghai for leg 3 of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and this is the fascinating GCL round 2. We welcome you to battle waged this afternoon between the 17 teams that comprise the new season, 9th GCL season. We've had a beautiful afternoon. It's a bit cooler tonight, 3 degrees less than the 27 degrees we maxed out at this afternoon, but Peter Grant has really intensified the battle. It was a brilliant first round, kept us all glued to the screen. It was simply brilliant, and only 3 teams have delivered those elusive clear rounds. And the champions, the Cannes Stars, again in pole position. They have company. Prague Lions were very, very good, as were Madrid in Motion, to jump the first clear round of the afternoon. This is the Just International Equestrian Centre that was completed here just 2 years ago. Designed to the Longines Global Champions Tour and FEI specifications. It's a masterpiece of design. It feels authentic, homely, however it's a cauldron. And the facilities are top class. This man's first round course was really something. Peter Grant from Canada. And his second round track, 540 metres. It's 5 metres longer than the first round. And 1 second extended. The time is 87 seconds. The footing here is immaculate. The horses have been jumping really well off the sand here in Shanghai. We're on the estuary of the mighty Yangtze River. This is the far eastern shoreline of China. They've all come globally. It's a quite extraordinary start field that Jan Tops assembles here. The 19th season of the Longines Global Champions Tour. Those two, Marcus Enning and Henrik von Eckermann, two of the greatest of all time, it must be said. Dennis Lynch has certainly had a very good afternoon. He is a dangerous man generally. And Dwar 4 events up. Now one of the world's best show jumpers. And Zoe Conter receiving some last-minute guidance from Michael Duffy. We are all set for an exceptional evening of world-class sport. It is great to have your company. We sit very tight in our seats because the first round was exciting. What this second round has in prospect for us over a beefed up, juiced up course is going to be electric. The crowd took a little bit of respite in the interval. We saw the horsemen, the incredible on-foot team from France. We're set fair for a wonderful afternoon of global sport. Welcome to Shanghai for leg 3 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. It is fitting that the 3rd largest global city hosts leg 3 of this brand new season. Mexico City was some atmosphere, quite unique was Campo Marte, but this is just International Equestrian Centre with a dazzling light display for our audience. This also acts as the Grand Prix qualifier. 49 starters for the 40 places on offer for Sunday's Grand Prix of Shanghai. Zarvin Graukova, 22 years of age, will lead us into action, with Konstantin as a batch of individuals to come first before the GCL round 2 gets started. 18 individuals to come. And Peter de Vos will be the last of those on the next page. 18, that is where we have the interval prior to GCL's round 2 getting started. We go in reverse order of the starters' scores from the first round. Marcus Enning and Gilles Thomas of Alkenswaard United. They change horses, both of them. Priam du Rosset and Luna van het Denhoff, who won the Grand Prix here last year. Andreas Sko's got his big jumping Napoli van het Neda Rassentov to come. Zoe Conter, H5 Chaconi is a horse change, as it is for Natalie Dean for the Cannes Stars. Brings her brilliant Annie Akota M to the start field, having jumped a brilliant clear with Con Calma. As the season's champions last year, going for a second win having won leg 1 of the GCL in Doha and being second in Mexico City. Our crowd here are in for a treat of world-class show jumping, as we all are. It's great to have your company. So GCL round 2, as I say, acts as the qualifier. The best 40 from this very class will come back for the Grand Prix here on Sunday. And should we have a withdrawal from that 40, we'll go down to places 41, 42, etc. to have a certain number of 40 to come here on Sunday. Defending champion, we'll see if this very Grand Prix, Gilles Thomas and Luna van het Denhoff, the precocious young Belgian, will come later. This lady, the same generation as Gilles. She's 22 years of age, and Zara Kova will show us the way around the course of Peter Grant this evening. She's a team member of Scandinavian Vikings, but she will ride this horse in pursuit of a Grand Prix qualifying place. This course very substantial, as you would expect. Peter Grant saved a few punches from the combinations in the first round, but now this is top-end difficulty, so he sits anticipating a wonderful hour and a half of world-class sports. The first fence is massive, 180 wide, the GC triple bar. They'll then run left-handed down to the Castle Garden vertical 155 tool, handbrake turn, roll back straight into 3, the Prague Playoffs vertical 157 tool. Constant gets us into action. This big chestnut won a very big class at Jumping Amsterdam on Sunday prior to the Grand Prix. That Peter de Vos won in January in the Dutch capital. Zara runs down to the very beefy Shanghai Oxa. That's fence 4, it's square 150 by 160. That was the Liverpool 160 tool, that is. This the first combination. 7A and B8 meters, one stride down between the Little House double. And then wheeling back to this very juicy Longines Oxa. It's absolutely square. Fence 8. That is the plank, it's very beefy. 160, the Laofeng Xiang plank. The treble. Zara Kova is jumping an immaculate opening round in the Grand Prix qualifier. Now, angles over the Bao Yan 160 tool vertical. Committed from this brilliant runner for Czechia. This the last line. Down to the final vertical. It's immaculate. It's a beautiful round. Zara Kova, mentored by Jörg Vrilling. She's now based back in Olomouc at home in the east of the Czech. But that is a brilliant clear round which virtually guarantees her a Grand Prix place. S40, as I say, will come back, but that surely is going to be good enough for the rising star for Czechia. Brilliant exhibition from Zara Kova. Prize money for this class, €165,000, the prize purse, and what a sight it is. The aerial view is breathtaking. This young man, 19 years of age, his second season on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Jumped 4 Grand Prix with us last year, Miami, Mexico City, Madrid and Paris. Luis Felipe de Neto Acevedo has the early rail down. That's all vertical. Stands 155 tool, but it comes early. Now Pandora Boy Z, he is the son of the Presley boy, crossed to Latano the first. This elegant, refined looking horseman from a distinguished, powerful Brazilian family. His grandfather was Luis Felipe de Azevedo, double team bronze medal winner, Atlanta 96 and Sydney 2000. Luis Felipe down into the first combination. Beautiful approach. Pays off dividends, 7A and B. That is the massive Oxa to this Very, testing plank, which he sadly takes. Second blemish out on course for the hugely talented young Brazilian on this huge evening in Shanghai. It's one of those ones you're just delighted to be at. I've been commentating for 25 years, but yeah, my blood is certainly pumping. Daniel Zoysa was the best individual round in the GCL. He was immaculate with Botello de Guldenboom to win individually the class this afternoon. Well, he'll have time penalties, but it was a very solid round. And then we get a reflection of the test of Peter Grant. It is the 2 down plus 3 time 11 for Luis Felipe Neto de Azevedo for Brazil, and Pandora Boy Z second out individually in GCL round 2 here, leg 3 of the brand new Longines Global Champions Tour season. Waiting alongside the in-gate, assessing the questions. Watch this man, certainly the man from Lecce in Italy's Puglia region, deep south of Italy, Lorenzo De Luca. We welcome, 38 years of age. He won the 4th edition of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here back in 2017 with Essor de l'Étrange. Did the double that year by winning in Valkenswaard in August that same season. He won again Valkenswaard last year with Denver de Talma, his 3rd Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix title. Lorenzo Borjapalou, this evening, son of Calvaro FC, crossed the heartbreaker. Led by Caterina Popetta for Lorenzo. He's well number 38, based near Antwerp with his own stable. Has ridden for the likes of Hoden Farms for Neil Moffat. Has ridden, of course, a long time for Stefan Contreras Stafax. Little rattle in 7A, but it stays in the cups for Lorenzo De Luca. He's got a calmness about his riding, this guy, but like I reflected on Victor Bettendorf as well, that calmness, but yet this killer instinct which they both harness in a similar sort of style. Lorenzo De Luca still clear in a punchy pace. He's carving out on Peter Grant's course, I venture to say, as he turns now homebound, 3 to go. Bao Yuan 160 vertical. Japaloop soars out over it comfortably. Running for home, well in excess of the Czech times. Arvin Garkova 75.84. Going to lead by, best part of 7 seconds. Lorenzo De Luca's clear round, but it was super smooth, and of course, there's 40 retake into the Grand Prix, so you just want to secure a clear. You'll in fact extinguish individual hopes in this individual class and make sure you come back on Sunday. So a clear policy, I think, from Lorenzo De Luca. Not targeting the win tonight, but securing the place in the Grand Prix here. This incredible Just International Question Centre for Sunday afternoon's great finale. Some very strong ones here this week for France, the likes of Simon Delestre, Jean Coutin, and this man, the 62-year-old Philippe Rosier, getting started. He was 10th in Doha's Grand Prix, Le Cutre de Meuse, his other super great. Dirty Sweet is on course for Philippe. Starts at 10 years of age in the saddle, encouraged by dad and Marcel. 3-time Olympian. Team gold came in Montreal in '76 for Philippe Rosier's dad. 40 years before Philippe's own gold in Rio 2016, but collective sight as Liverpool at 5 topples. And another vertical, I'm afraid, down out of the first of the combinations. This horse has been in slightly speculative form of late, was tricky in Paris with a couple of retirements at Le Saut Hermès back in late March, so just to get this horse back up with confidence, blossoming away from China would be Philippe's main objective. Now, this home turn for this mighty horseman. Sweet, just rather leaning on Philippe's hand, not totally easy, I don't think, in the contact for the the French veteran, runs down to the final fence, but it is those two verticals, I'm afraid. Coming at 5 and out of the combination 7B, the two blemishes. This evening, Philippe Rossier, Dirty Sweets, come home with 8. But that very much is going to put his chance of returning, I think, in doubt, but maybe still. With 49 starting and 40 to qualify, there will be 7 or 8 that are worse than that, but it's certainly well on the cusp of qualification. Now this incredible horseman comes in to salute the crowd that he basked with his lap of honour, winning the GCL round 1 individually. It was a stunning display from Otello de Guldenboom. Mighty Daniel Deusser enters GCL round 2. This pair were narrowly denied the win in Doha. Abdul Said taking top honours with Bon Ami, but Gangsman had not availed second leg 1 this season. Now this powerful horse will no doubt target Zarvingrad-Kova 75.84. It was a stunning speed display from Daniel. Wasn't flustered, wasn't rushed, but it was just consummately brilliant, as he tends to bring to the biggest occasions. Youngster soars out over the back of that monster boxer at 4, Shanghai fence. 150, 160, absolutely square. This horse has got huge ground cover, 14 years of age. Eldorado van der Zeshoek's son storms down through the double. He'll be deceptively quick, this horse, typically as well, such as the length of stride. Daniel there, a little acceleration away from the Longines. Beautiful stride, just plucks it out of thin air down to the plank. A 162 was a masterclass again of accurate speed riding from Daniel Deusser. Gangster now, home turn, 60 seconds on the clock, 15 seconds homebound, 3 to go to get ahead of the young star for the Czech Republic, or Czechia as they've been known for about 4 years now. Daniel Deusser is going to be down on Zarvingrad-Kova's time. He hasn't gone flat out, but again, the qualification will be his priority. That looks virtually certain. We have 3 clear rounds after the first 5 have jumped here in Shanghai. GCL round 2, and Daniel Deusser, job done, ticket secured, no doubt, for the Grand Prix, as he targets his first win, Grand Prix-wise, in his brand new season. Defending champion of the GCL here last year with the Shanghai Swans. He's having a great afternoon. Goes second behind Zarvingrad-Kova. Stunning aerial coverage of the next to start as Nicola Philipparts enters. His wonderful Katanga van het Dingershof, the next to start. Nicola, 31 years of age. Katanga, 15, daughter of Cardento, this outstanding mare. 9th in the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix last year. Also this mare part of the winning team for Stockholm Hearts in the GCL Super Cup final last year in Riyadh. It was at H&M Indiana for Marlin Bard Jonsson and Juliette Payal, Donatello Dorge. Katanga quickly out over the Longines. It's a slippery turn. Nicola weaves back to the plank, jumps it beautifully. Zara must be coming under some pressure here from one of the 4 brothers of Ludo. Philipparts, well, his sons but brothers, if you know what I mean. Katanga now homebound, not dissimilar time there to Nicola Philipparts. He's down, I think, on Zarvingrad-Kova, just about, but it's nip and tuck. Actually, no, he's not down, it's right on the wire, but inside is the right side of the line. Katanga's had outstanding form with this man over the years. They were 7th in the Grand Prix in Paris last year. It's a beautiful leading round for Nicola Philipparts. 75.02, takes a lead of 0.82 only from 22-year-old from Czechia. Zara Ringarkova into second. Daniel Deusser slips into third place. Nippy Mare shows all of her turning ability at high speed. Well, the home crowd gets ready because this lady jumps a stunning round, clear round in round one. With this horse this afternoon already. It is her debut at 5-star level, her very first Longines Global Champions Tour show. This very first 160 course this evening. Just Blue gets on course for Zhang Yifan for China. Their partnership formed in May of last year, produced in the Netherlands by Dan van Geel. It's an early rail, but first timer at 160. Let's not overlook that very important fact. Zhang Yifan sees a beautiful stride down to the Shanghai Ox, meets it crisply. Keeps this horse nicely up in her hand, just keeping a measured approach here on this huge evening for her. It's a night she won't forget. It's one of the biggest nights, if not the biggest night of her life, I would venture to say, sports-wise. Second error, second vertical. 25 years of age only. Now takes a wide turn here. We'll go outside of the last fence to take a little bit more room set up for the plank, understandably. And again, Zhang Yifan takes a moment to compose down to the treble, a little half halt on approach. But then it pays off beautifully. The crowd crouching, looking at different angles, really craning in to get a bird's eye view of Zhang Yifan. Tonight here in the Just International Equestrian Centre. It's been a very clever, well-ridden round. It's been really good for a debut at this level. A couple down tonight, I think, is a very strong result for Zhang Yifan. And the crowd appropriately getting right behind this young Chinese rising star. Well done. It's 2 down, 8 penalties. 160 debut completed tonight for Zhang Yifan for the home nation and Just Blue here in Shanghai. Now this man has got a new team of horses, having sold Foxy de la Roque stateside to Carl Cook after the win the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Rome last year, and then the Super Grand Prix at the Riyadh playoffs. Victor Beddendorf, brilliant clear for the team from Madrid in Motion that are the leaders after GCL round 1. He'll sit out round 2, but now looks for his Grand Prix qualification here with his Atum de la Roque Z on course. It's a gelding he thinks very highly of, Victor. They won their last outing. That was a big Tour 150 at Saint-Tropez Gassin in early April. So this horse had the best part of a month to recover from that win and travel to China. Victor Beddendorf giving us his customary easy, smooth display. He'll go outside like Zhang Yifan, back to the plank, but he's quick, devilishly quick, as he wants to leave no doubt as to secure his Grand Prix place. Fearless speed, he rattles the mid part of the treble, it stays, bounces up in the cups and courts. Victor Beddendorf has still got his foot down to the boards here. Atum de la Roque Z, son of Armitage Boy, cross to Bentley van der Heffing, comes down to the last fence here. Victor Beddendorf is only going to be just down on the leading times. He will go third. Will nudge Daniel Deusser off the podium, and it's another superb round for this man. Talked to him 2 days ago, and he's building a new team of horses. This horse he thinks very highly of. And 7.626, the Luxembourg time. Victor Beddendorf into third. It's Belgium, Czechia, and now Luxembourg.
Last year's Super Grand Prix champion at his brilliant best. into third for Luxembourg's Victor Bettendorf and the two Delaroc. It's still Belgians, Nicolas Philippans, the best so far.
接下来我们看到的是第90位登场的，来自爱尔兰的 Dennis Lynch， 他所择骑的是第16岁的项目。
He was 7th with this ride in the Grand Prix of Denmark this year, back in February, riding Brooklyn Heights. Good luck to Haaland and Dennis Lynch.
Victor Bettendorf has a little chat to Adeline Ekar, his partner, after the superb success this evening in Shanghai. Combination number 9, we welcome Ireland's Dennis Lynch get started. This outstanding Brooklyn Heights, the new one on course, under Nabab Derev Cross 2, the Mighty for Pleasure. This pair outstanding in Amsterdam, second in both the Grand Prix and the World Cup, by Peter de Vos and Mark Halsacher respectively. And they were 4th in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Rabat, Morocco, last leg of last season. He's one you put money down, I think, on the table, will qualify for the Grand Prix and be dangerous come Sunday as well. Dennis powers down to 7AB, the opening combination. Beautifully through it. Peter Grant employed 3 doubles in GCL round 1. He's opted for a double and a treble in this GCL 160 round 2. The double takes as the decider for the teams, the 17 teams on the Global Champions Tour this year, and critically as well the Grand Prix qualifier. Brooklyn Heights is still clear, and Dennis Lynch even takes a little pull on the home turn to make sure of this huge vertical. 162 Bao Yun, black-white feature. Down the final line, and it's immaculate, it's perfect from Dennis Lynch. Eases home. The big guns are lining up here in Shanghai. We have 6 of the biggest names in world show jumping. Yes, Sarah Vingrakova is rising as a star, but we're aware of her talents. It's now Lorenzo De Luca, Daniel Deusser, Victor Bettendorf, Sarah Vingrakova, Nicolas Philippans, the quickest of those, and joined by Ireland's danger man, Dennis Lynch, looking towards Sunday.
A wonderful story for this next partnership. He produced this.
I'll just remind everybody, 18 individuals to come before we have the short break prior to GCL round 2 getting started. And this course proving actually very jumpable. It's certainly been toughened up, but the best horses will be saved for this particular round to try and secure qualification for the riders for the Grand Prix here. The 6th Grand Prix we've had here in Shanghai because of the 4-year hiatus the coronavirus inflicted on the venue here. The inaugural win back in 2014 went to Peter de Vos and Dream of India Greenfield. The new starter, this man, had a fall in GCL round 1, sadly, but now back to try and qualify for the Grand Prix. Guido Grimaldi, we welcome. He is an amateur show jumper, trained by Luis Felipe Cortizo Gonzalez de Azevedo Filho, who was 2nd in Mexico City's Grand Prix last year with Sierra du Piedro Z. Now his ride this evening, Messi 7. Messenger Chaco Blue makes an immaculate start here. His very first 5-star Grand Prix win came in mid-January. Final day of the Al Shirah Horse Show in Abu Dhabi. Won the World Cup Grand Prix there with Gentlemen. That was presented by Longines. Guido Grimaldi, he'll be on business, he'll return. Weak competition. Luis Felipe will get his horses tuned up for these classes, but no, they take the plank, sadly. The plank in the first round was not that influential. Neither has this one been so far, but still now Guido hopes of qualification if he could stay on the 4. This horse covers a lot of ground, but now on the 8. Same score as Philippe Rosier and Zhang Yifan. The line gets a little bit wavering down to the final fence. There was a nasty bulge prior to takeoff, with Guido managed to secure. He'll have to wait and see. I'm still optimistic with 49 coming into this GCL round 2 to qualify for the Grand Prix. He's got a chance, but it's not yet secure.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? 2 fences down, 8 the score then, 18-4-0.
都知道，像这样的成绩，如果是8分的8个防分的话，是意味着他在。
That is Luis Felipe in the yellow Panama. Slightly disappointed because it was a very solid round visually, and I think the overall impression was very, very solid, and certainly a vast improvement after the frustrations of round 1 for Guido Grimaldi. Can't be anything but impressed by an amateur at this level. Now this young professional, who is an outstanding horseman, 23 years of age, from the Philippines dynasty, Thibaut Philippines, gets started. This 9-year-old, he rode in the first round, the son of Grand Slam, crossed the A-Horn, Leandro MDB, jumping number 11 to start. Thibaut won the Leon Melchior Prize in Mechelen, December 2023, with Obama de la Linière. He was 4th in the Mechelen Grand Prix, Derby de Riverland, that his brother rode Nicola this afternoon. That was the year before, in 2022. This horse produced by Sweden's Marcus Vestergren. And this actually the horse's very first 5-star week and first Longines Global Champions Tour start, and jumping a beautiful round. Thibaut makes a steely, quick turn back to the plank, rattles it, but it stays on the flipped cup, so won't be too much of a contact. The topples it, but it stays obligingly still. But that fence, I'm afraid, doesn't. But at the moment, the 6 clears, but no 4-4 rounds, so stay on 4 here, and looking still, I think, good for qualification. The 9, that would be a very good result. Their combined ages, 32 years of age. The last goes as well, so now pitched on the 8. Alongside Philippe Rosier, will be a little bit quicker than Zhang Yifan, the Chinese rider, so Thibaut Philippines is 8th as we stand. Disappointing for that final fence, and yeah, I still think will have done enough, because there's a long way to go yet. Things will become clear.
Combination next up with Hubris, the 5-star basics in Doha at the very start of this year. It's actually a fairly new ride for her, but last year she was quite incredible.
Our VIPs all poised, enjoying their dinner and a wonderful evening of sports as they welcome Francis Ines Joly, the new starter. 27 years of age. Last year was her maiden season on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and the sensational win in Monaco with Ambassador Z, who sadly left Ines' stable. Now with Samuel Hutton, Abdul's side Sport Horses out in the USA, will be his new base. This lady from Saint-Etienne in Lyon, initially, now based near Deauville. This horse looked very good to my eye this week, and I think a clear round here is going to be the result. I'll put it out there. It's their second Longines Global Champion start as a pair only. Ines juggles a little bit stride-wise down to 5. Wasn't perfect visually, but no, my prediction, I'm afraid, falls foul. The Just Sports Ox, fence 6, puts her on 4. Cracked, we said. Olivier Perrault started him. Jacques Coutin continued him, and Simon Delestre prior to Ines Joly's saddle. The son of Comorfo now travels into the depth of the treble. Suppose the only 4-4 round of GCL round 2. Seoul Grand Prix qualifier. What is going to be an epic Sunday afternoon. I can't wait to see how that Grand Prix unfolds. But now on to 8 again. Well, solid round, but my hopes of a clear for Ines Joly, I'm afraid, fall by the wayside. A couple go tonight here in the Swiss International Equestrian Centre for the former nurse. 8 penalties for Craig Denguizet and Francis Ines Joly. Part of Deborah Meyer's Monaco Comets. A brand new team for Deborah Meyer in this brand new 9th GCL season. The position, Nicola Philippon still in top, 75.02, the leading time. Leads by 0.82 of Czechia's Arvin Grakova. And Victor Behlendorf completes our podium as things stand. But now we go to the Brazilian. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes gets started. He was 34th in the Longines Global Champions Tour standings last year. 12 years ago was his debut on the tour in Lausanne. And that was 9th actually, with Calvalda in the Lausanne Grand Prix. Behind the win for Lucy Davis Kennedy and Barron that year. From Santa Maria in the south of Brazil, hot and spicy, rips down to the Shanghai Oxer. Great forward attacking start from Eduardo Pereira. I was with him in the south of France a couple of years ago. He had a bad fall one day, came back to jump a beautiful clear the next day. Just shows his pure mettle as a horseman. Pan Am's gold came alongside Marlon Modolo Zanotelli's double of goals in Lima, Peru's Pan Am's of 2019. Hot and spicy. A maiden Grand Prix was in Mexico City. 7th season with Eduardo. Still clear as we look for clear on number 7. Just reminded the former champions here, 2014, Peter de Vos, Harry Smolders won the 2nd edition, 2015. 2016 was Abdullah Al-Sharbatli's year. This man maybe takes edition 6 because there's a great clear for Eduardo Pereira de Menezes and hot and spicy. 2017 was Lorenzo de Luca's year. Then came the break prior to the defending champion here, that is Gilles Thomas. We had the 2 years after, 2018 and 19, actually prior to the break. Gregory Wathelet won here with Corrie 2018, and Danny Veldeman, Lizzie Marie won in 2019. We have finally another clear round. It is now the 7. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes will be back surely on Sunday. Mexico Amigos, his team. Zoe Conte in the middle of your picture, saluting. Very smart clear for the Brazilian.
He had five-star big wins in the Doha, part of the Tour there at the very start of the year. Riding GCL, good luck, Italy's Emanuele Gaudiano.
This man looked very good this afternoon. He was 2nd in behind Daniel Deusser with Esteban de Hus in GCL round 1 individually, and Emanuele Gaudiano getting started for Italy. This is Julius D jumping, number 14 of our starts. Resso Vidiel cross to Gallas Vidiel, and Million for Emanuele Gaudiano. This Italian knows no other way than to be committed and gutsy. His great other chestnut, Chalou, great veteran. An extraordinary spell on the Doha Tour. With 9 wins, start of this year at Alsha Cup. It was incredible to watch. Jumped 12 legs of the Longines Global Champions Tour last year. And Julius D very smartly down through the treble. Emanuele, who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Monaco at Casper, June 2016, turns now down to the final pair of fences. And a super round here he assembles, and maybe, yes, surely the quickest round so far. His Super Friday in Shanghai on May the 2nd continues. Emanuele Gaudiano, 73.95 to lead by 1.07 of a second. Nicola Philippon finally drops into 2nd. And this man, when he gets in this sort of form, is very, very dangerous. 2nd today already, and leads the way in GCL round 2 en route to the Grand Prix on Sunday. He asked me earlier if the new rule was, if we had one of the 40 withdraw after this round, whether 41, 42 would qualify for the Grand Prix, and I confirm that is the new rule brought in this year by Jan Tops and his team. Doesn't need to think about that end of the spectrum. He is guaranteed a place. Now this impressive horsewoman, 20 years of age, from the south of Germany, based near Munich, with Simon Wüdmann here coaching Tara Bleicher. Mother's here, as I said earlier. I met her in the lift earlier, and she is certainly nervous. Understandably, I said I think she's brilliantly talented. Tara is aboard this beautiful Oliver van der Heijke. Son of a Plessis van der Heijke, crossed to Argentinus, the legendary dam sire. Tara won the European Youth Gold Medal Children on Horses. That was in 2019, but she takes the back of the GCL Sports Zoo in partnership with the Longines Global Champions to develop this phenomenal arena, one of the leading sports brands in China. And what a facility, everybody just oozing praise. It is quite astonishing what we have here to enjoy. Tara Bleicher riding in a steady round here. Nose time is not really a consideration, but needs to stay on 4. Tara Bleicher turns homebound, but no, too cautious, I think, to stay on the 4 and runs out of momentum. Yeah, just head on, or hand on her head, because that was unnecessary somehow. It wasn't a fault of riding, but just trying to stay on 4. Just depowered a little bit around the home turn. And then the 4 penalties just stared her in the face, and yeah, Tara Bleicher signals to our ground jury that she will retire from the qualification as an individual here in GCL round 2. And disappointing for the young German. I think she's a big name of the years to come, certainly, but a sore moment, sad to see, for Tara Bleicher. She retires. Oliver van der Heijke out on Peter Grant's course.
This horse and rider partnership won great form here last year. It took third in the Grand Prix. Riding Quintano, he loves it here in Shanghai, so please make him welcome. Arnold Michael Duffy.
The new combination, they were third here last year in the Grand Prix, behind Edwin Tops Alexander and Gilles Thomas. Michael Duffy, who secured the win, his first Longines Global Champions Tour win in Miami, Captain Mouche last year. Now tries to join the clear rounds, but a swelling in number. 3 more individuals to come, including Michael, prior to the interval before the GCL second round starts. Cantano, 32. The youngest ever senior Irish champion. He won it at 17 years of age in 2012. Race with Helena Stormers in Eschweiler. Sees a massive distance down to the Longines Oxer and accelerates away. Whoa, what a bold turn. Michael Duffy takes no prisoners back to the plank at 160. That was really courageous. Cantano is on springs down through the treble. It was bouncy, it was energized. This is fairly fast as well here. Michael Duffy, homebound. It's been a masterclass of really impressive precision, but powerful riding in equal measure. Wow, what a round that was. The crowd here salutes the young Irishman from County Galway initially. It's a beautiful clear round for Michael. He will go into second. The deficit is 1.04 seconds behind Emanuele Gaudiano. Gaudiano, Duffy, Philip Arts, our podium. That was a really good round to watch.
74.99, he goes into second. Shanghai always brings the best out in that man. He's cleared into second. He is ours, Michael Duffy.
好，代表个人出场的第17顺位的选手，来自摩纳哥的 Stacey Nelson。
19 years of age is this young lady from Monaco. She's an under-25 rider on the team this year, and she's ridden successfully at the 2-star level on the tour. But it's great to
Little view in the background of Harry Allen watching on Daniel Deusser stalks. And Michael Duffy looks very, very calm after a beautiful clear round. But now this young lady, at 19 years of age, Cameron Hanley here on behalf of Carlswood Stable, Cian O'Connor's massive operation, who oversees the training of Anastasia Nielsen. 19 years of age, and this attempt at the Grand Prix qualification started her Longines Global Champions Tour career in Monaco last year, but this is her first big week on the Global Champions Tour. Dark Chocolates. Former rider Dennis Lynch is on the course. Casal across to Accadetto. Holsteiner 11-year-old Stallion just trails the front legs on the GC vertical, sadly. 157 Tour, fence 3. But now the same task that faced Tiara Bleicher, to stay on 4. But don't be too cautious. This was the cautionary tail Tiara Bleicher exhibited, sadly. Yeah, Anastasia Nielsen keeps on attacking. You can't sit too conservative. You want to. It's a natural instinct, but these courses are so demanding. The horse senses that almost de-adrenalization. It can get a little bit, I think, casual-minded. Anastasia Nielsen keeps this horse right up the task. Dark Chocolate homebound now, 3 to go. To try and return for very first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here on Sunday, looking like a distinct reality. Anastasia Nielsen jumps the last fence beautifully. That was very, very good. Just inside time by a whisker. Perfectly judged by Anastasia Nielsen. Kept her cool when I can imagine she was getting a little bit of a sweat under the collar. That is what it means. Anastasia Nielsen, one of the Iron Dames riders of Deborah Meyer, the outstanding young Monegasque, will return on Sunday, surely on 4 penalties. Best 40, of course, these are all hypotheses, but I'm sure the likely outcome. Just to recap, everybody, it is the 9 clears. That is the 10th best score, the only 4 penalty. Dark Chocolate and Anastasia Nielsen. Yeah, she's got 7, actually worse than her, and with 49 starting, 40 to qualify. That is secure. Peter de Vos is the last individual. Primo DV on track for the inaugural champion here, Dream of India Greenfield, who won in 2014. Peter with the son of Vigaran Soy on course. Peter de Vos sadly takes the Liverpool. Fence 5 goes, so his task is again equivalent to Anastasia Nielsen. To stay on the 4. Based at Beckervoort in Belgium. The De Vos Group Export Company, apples and pears, other fruit and vegetables is the family business, which with Wout and Peter still very much involved in, I think. But I'm afraid a second error comes in the treble. So again, we'll have to watch and see into GCL round 2, as the team riders also, of course, bidding for Grand Prix qualification. Well, 2 down it is for Peter de Vos and Primo DV, and the inaugural champion here. We'll have to wait and see how this qualifying round evolves after the 10-minute break prior to GCL round 2 getting started in earnest. What I can tell you is we have jumped 18 combinations and there are 9 clears, so 1 in 2 exactly. A half of our start field have delivered clear rounds. With the other 9, it does mean these are all guaranteed to return the quickest round, Emanuele Gaudiano. He's out in front individually. We take a 10-minute break prior to the GCL round 2 starting. We'll see you very soon. Thank you for your company. This is the incredible backdrop of Shanghai, the third largest city globally. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, leg 3 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And the third GCL leg, their 9th season. The battle was waged this afternoon around a fascinating first round course of Peter Grant that caused a lot of trouble. It was big, it was fair, but we had the best in the world falling into trouble. Only 3 teams of the 17 that started have delivered clear rounds. The champions of last year, they're in business once again. Cannes Stars, Prague Lions and Madrid in Motion. They were the best teams of GCL round 1, but anything can happen this evening. A brand new course in this Just International Equestrian Centre. It's a cool night, 23 degrees still, but it was a warm afternoon, so we all feel a drop in temperature. The crowd packed into the Just International Equestrian Centre that was completed here 2 years ago. What a masterpiece of design. And yes, the home team, Shanghai Swans, they won here last year. This is the 6th edition. And Monaco Aces, London Knights, Paris Panthers, they were sadly eliminated in the first round. Have all been winners here. The lights are on, it's a mood change, the floodlights, and they're quite stunning. City of Shanghai in the background. Cannes Stars won last year's season championships with 4 wins in their maiden year. Deborah Meyer's all-lady team. Shanghai Swans won last time in Mexico City, and they've been devastatingly effective. And the likes of Istanbul Warriors, Henrik von Eckermann here. New signing for Istanbul Warriors, the world #1. And we wait and watch how this evening will unfold, because Peter Grant has certainly had a fascinating course that has jumped well so far. We take you back through the highlights of round 1 this afternoon. And a fascinating battle, as I say, that we witnessed. Then Madrid in Motion. First team to deliver the perfect double clear. Victor Beddendorf, Ken Quintoros, that was so good again. Consummate display from Victor. Stockholm Haas, they won the GCL Super Cup last year in Riyadh. And Chin Yupang for the home nation had this early refusal. And then in the shadows up at 5A and B was his downfall. It was elimination from the rider from southern China. Well, this team, the defending champions here, and they won the last leg in Mexico City, and 2 huge names in Ben Mayer and Max Kuhner on the roster. But Ben, it was a beautiful round. The mistake came at the vertical. 4 fences from home with Enjeu de Grissien. Max Kuhner, part of the trio, Katarina Romberg, Christian Allman that won in Mexico City. And very smooth again, typically from the Austrian. Prague Lions are poised to pounce again. They were second in Doha behind Cannes Stars. One of the 3 double clears. So far, Niels Marseilles and Thibaut Spitz delivered. Peter de Vos watching on this incredible young horseman. The win on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix win that came last year for Thibaut Spitz in Riesenbeck, and it was so cool. But this team, well, their story is becoming quite show-stopping. Monaco Comets, we'll see later, but Cannes Stars, the other team of Deborah Meyer and De Carol watching on. In fact, sorry, this is Monaco Comets. I got my pinks muddled. It was a tough afternoon for them. Renatov Alexander and Angelica Augustin-Zanotelli. They've had a very good season. Monaco Comets 3rd in Doha and 6th in Mexico, but a tough afternoon for them. So this is the confirmed picture after GCL round 1. The 3 teams poised, battling. Cannes Stars having won in Doha. Prague Lions, the runners-up in the first leg as well. Madrid in Motion, yet to really strike a podium this year. But 9 teams on 4 penalties, so the battle is really live and kicking in this 3rd leg here in China. We're on the eastern shoreline of this massive nation, and very good to have your company. The home crowd are in for a treat because the rider quality and horsepower here is astonishingly high. As we take you around the course of Peter Grant for GCL round 2, that is doubled up as the Grand Prix qualifier. 5 metres longer than the first round, 540 metres and 87 seconds, the time allowed. It is the Global Champions triple bar, 180 wide, 150 tall to open them up. Left-handed down to this Castle Garden vertical, 155 tall, straight into a rollback turn. It's a tough start. Back to this 157 tall Prague Playoffs vertical, fence 3. They then run down to this absolutely square Shanghai Oxer, 150, 160 its width at 4. It's a very meaty Oxer. Then comes the Liverpool red and white up ahead of the big screen. That is the distraction factor in the back of the horse's eye line, fence 5. They then turn back to fence 6. This, the Just Sports 153, 160 wide Oxer on the far side, ahead of the big crowd. 5 strides down to the first of the 2 combinations, the Little House Double, 7A in, 150, 160 wide. And it's an 8 metre distance, 1 stride down to 7B, 158 tall. It's a very serious first of the 2 combinations from Peter Grant and his team, Peter Wong and son Zishan. This the left-hander, back to the Longines Oxer. Prior to this very difficult turn back to the Laofeng Jiang plank, 153, 160 the Longines Oxer. Then this plank is again huge at 9, 160 tall. Then down to the real meat of the course that remains at the end of it, 10A, B and C, 156 in, 1 stride, 8 metres 10 to 10B. This big Oxer, 10CX Sting, 158 tall. A lot of work to do late on in the course, particularly for those riders who are on the same horse as from GCL round 1. They then have this turn back to this enormous 160 tall Bao Yun vertical. 3 from home, they'll angle it if they're trying to win as we get to the top 3 teams. And right-handed back to the, again, very capacious Snake Liverpool. At 12, it's 151 by 165 and down to the key vertical, 160 tall. Let's see who has the key to the GCL win here in Shanghai. That is the test of Peter Grant, the Canadian lead designer. Oh, what a city, my first time here, and it is quite exceptional. They've come from far and wide, and we take you down the list now. The teams to come, Monaco Comets, a tough afternoon. They start as our back marker, Scandinavian Vikings, Lara Truber's debut, alongside Jörg Vrieling. This team 3rd in Mexico, and the brothers Max Weishout to Philip Weishout for Riesenbeck International. Santa Fe Pirates bring in Doralish II for Duan Seabra, and a new ride for Mariano Martinez Bastida as well. York Empire, 2 new horses. Robin Murphy brings his top horse Canham, and Hello Shadora Lady 2nd in the Longines Grand Prix out in Hong Kong this year. No horse change, no rider change for Rome Gladiators, Nadia Peter-Steiner and Rika Barker. The two new rides for Gilles Thomas, the horse that won the Grand Prix here last year, Luna, and Graham Diocose for Marcus. New rides for Andreas Sko, Napoli Van Het, Nader Asantov, his huge jumping bay, and the lovely Firefox for Marlon Modolo, Zanotelli. And again, horse changes for the Mexico Amigos. They're in very good form. Zoe Conte and Carlos Hank Guerrero. Doha Falcons. It's a very good horse, Blood Diamant Dupont. Same horse for Jean Coutin. And Villon Vermeer's got a new ride for the second round. And Ben Mayer and Max Kuhn both with new horses. Dallas Vegas Bati for Ben. And Simon Lestra. Giamo, a new horse for him. And Henry von Eckermann stays with Iliana for GCL round 2. And Jan-Fredrik Meyer-Zimmermann stays with Messi van der Ruytershof, but Akota M comes into the frame for Natalie Dean. The champions, these the 3 clear round teams, Prague Lions. Thibaut Spitz stays with Impress, a new ride. It is going to be alongside Thibaut for Niels Bruns-Sales, for Niels. And then the last team, Madrid in Motion, looking for the win here. Man of Landers Saro and Eduardo Alvarez Asnar. Well, it's going to be dynamic, it will be fast-paced, and welcome to GCL round 2 here, leg 3 in Shanghai. Delighted to welcome you to the GCL round 2 and Monaco Comets, powered by Iron Dames, to lead us into action. Jan Tops watches on as his wife will trailblaze team competitors. And this outstanding Jetem Flamenco Sunfellow Castlefield for Edwina Tops Alexander, the double season champion, 2012 and 2011. This pair second in the Grand Prix here last year. Behind Gilles Thomas and Luna Van Het Denhoff set us into action. Monaco Comets, they've been in great form start of this year, 3rd in Doha, 6th in Mexico. Back Marcus here, that is the ebb and flow nature of world-class show jumping. It's not a reflection of what's exactly what you could have changed in your approach, just the nature of the beast that we love, world-class show jumping. That makes a little adjustment down to the vertical of 5. Liverpool 162. It's Rolls-Royce for jumper. Set sail down to the opening combination. Meets it perfectly. From North Shore in Sydney. Initially, and yeah, secure over the Longines Oxa. This is a crucial turn. They went outside, potentially the individuals, but we'll see the team riders going inside, I think, largely to the 162 plank. Hello, Castlefield. Idles, he is so scopy down through the treble combination. 7 seconds coming up on the home turn for the Australian. Edwina Tops Alexander. Horse substitution for this great old veteran, her best friend, I'm sure. Equine Wise comes down to the last fence, well inside time. He's so reliable. Delivers clear round after clear for Edwina Tops Alexander. Pilots him beautifully into very good start for Monaco Comets. Of course, they're sullied after the first round, but they've had a very good start to this 9th GCL season. And all teams will expect 1 or 2 results to not go quite in the nature of their overall picture season-wise. And again, a brand new team of Deborah Meyer that is great to have on the GCL 9th season here. And it's in Shanghai.
Second up now, into the very first round, which jumped in this time. Angelica Zanotelli, Lizzie de Piccoli.
Now, this lady was second with the Istanbul Warriors in the GCL here last year. Based with Marlon at Excel in Belgium, up in the north of Belgium. Angelica Augustin Zanotelli gets away to Esther Coquery. This beautiful 12-year-old mare daughter of Consul de VZ. Across to the great Papillon Rouge. Out the Self Francais Stubbook. Out Angelica co-owns with Ashford Farm of Enda Carroll. Double barrels out over 5. Such is the enthusiasm plus ability that DS furnishes. Angelica, such as the jump into the combination, a little bit pitch forward on landing. But that was the sheer hang time of the mare, who is flying out there. It's a tight turn. She cuts back to the plank. This lady from Gothenburg initially. But no, it goes wrong. Some big efforts, but the brake's gone into the treble combination. And yeah, that was a devastating blow for Angelica. It's amazing the sensitivity levels of these top horses. It could be just a little fraction that the horse senses. Maybe the stride wasn't perfect. I'm not sure. I'm sitting at the wrong side of the treble to have seen a side view. But these top riders don't normally get a stride actually wrong. So I think it was a great approach, but maybe just a few efforts that were a little bit not perfect. And yeah, sad to see the retirement.
Well, that, I have to say, is a little disappointing for Angelica Augustin Zanatelli. Had hoped for better, but it was a good run from Edwina Thompson-Alexander. But that sees the first team complete in the second round here of stage 3 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And if you want to continue watching, then you must now subscribe to GCTV.